Hello Vivekians. So in this video we are going to continue with next type of past tense, that is past continuous tense or past progressive tense. So students, past continuous tense is expressed with the verb form was, were plus verb in ing form. Students, if you remember, in present continuous tense also I told you that whenever there is ing form of the verb, it means continuous tense. And because it is past tense, so we are using was, were instead of is, am, are. Was is used when the subject is third person singular, means was is used with he, she, it, etc. And were is used with either of the person or number. And in the rest of the cases we use were. For example, he was playing, she was playing, they were playing, the girls were playing. Okay? The negative is formed by putting not after was or were. So to form negative, what do? We put not after was or were. For example, she was not eating, they were not eating. Okay? Similarly, to form interrogative, we put was, were before the subject. And was, were is used according to the same condition, was with third person singular and were with either of the person or number. For example, were they eating? Was she playing? Okay. Now let's see that when do we have to use past continuous tense. First is to express an action that was in progress at some time in the past. So if an action was going on at some time in the past, means for example I am talking about 8 o'clock in the morning. At that time I was having breakfast. So I am talking about a particular action that was going on at a particular time in the past. Then we use past continuous tense. For example, I was eating breakfast at 8 o'clock. I was having bath when he came. Okay. Next, to express two or more actions in progress at the same time. So if two or more actions are going on at the same time in the past, then we use past continuous tense. For example, my mother was cooking, we were doing our homework. The students were listening attentively when the teacher was explaining in the class. So, when we are talking about two things that are going on at the same time, we use past continuous tense. To express an often repeated, undesirable action in the past with word like always or continually. So, if there is an undesirable action that is often repeated in the past, then we use past continuous tense. For example, he was always making unfair demands from his parents. So making unfair demands is undesirable and always shows that it is a repeated action and an action of past. Then we can say that we'll use past continuous tense. In descriptions of past actions or events, so if you're describing any action that occurred in past, then we use past continuous tense. For example, Joshua was playing the flute and Julia was singing. So, it is an action of past. It is an event of past. Also, in indirect speech as the equivalent of present continuous tense. So, if there is a sentence in present continuous tense and we are writing the indirect speech, then we'll change it to past continuous tense. For example, in the direct it is Mansi said I am traveling by the Chennai Express. So, in past it would be in indirect it would be Mansi said that she was traveling by Chennai Express. So we have changed from present continuous to past continuous. In polite questions about how a period of time was spent. So if we are talking about how a period of time was spent, we are asking a question related to that. Then we use past continuous tense. For example, what were you doing when your neighbors called for the bonfire? So we are talking about how that period of time when the neighbors called for bonfire, how that period of time was spent. So we are asking question about a period of time. Then we use past continuous tense. So for unfulfilled plans with verbs like hope, plan, etc. So if there is a plan that is unfulfilled, then we use past continuous tense. For example, I was hoping to get an A plus grade in terminal examination, but I have not got. It is an unfulfilled plan. Means I planned that, but I did not achieve my goal. In that case, we use past continuous tense. Students, you must note that you should keep the following points in mind while using past continuous tense. First is that this tense tells us that the action was in progress at certain point of time in the past and had not been completed by that time. So if we are talking about a past action and that action was in progress but has not completed till that moment of time, then we use past continuous tense. Secondly, this tense does not tell when the action began and when it ended. So the starting point and ending point of the action is not known, but we know it is a past action and it had not been completed by the time we are talking about. Okay. Third is this tense is frequently used with simple past tense. The verb in simple past shows the completed action, while the verb in past continuous shows the other action in progress. So if we are combining two sentences, it is generally used with simple past tense, where simple past tense represents the completion of a certain action and past continuous shows that this action was going on by then. Last is the duration of the completed action is shorter while the duration of the continued action is longer. So if the duration of completed action is short while duration of continued action is longer as compared to the completed one, then we use past continuous tense in that case. So students, now let's try an exercise on based of what you have learned so far. So I give you this question. You can pause the video and try it yourself, and then we'll discuss the answers. So the question is, when I dash at the station, my sister dashed for me. She dashed her umbrella and dashed something, but I couldn't hear what she dashed because everybody dashed such a noise. And in this question, we have to either use simple past tense or past continuous tense. Okay? I hope you have all tried, and now we'll discuss the answers. So, when I arrived at the station, my sister was waiting for me. If you remember, we had done that this tense is generally used with simple past tense, where simple past shows the completed action and past continuous shows the action in progress. So here, when I arrived at the station, my sister was waiting for me. So arrived is a completed action and waiting is the action that was going on. Okay. She waved her umbrella and shouted something, but I couldn't hear what she said. Here all the actions waved, shouted, said are the actions that have been completed. So actions that have been completed in the past, we use simple past tense. Past is because everybody was making such a noise. Now was making is the action that was going on at that moment. So here we have used past continuous tense. Students, you can check your answer from here. I hope the topic of past continuous tense and simple past tense is clear to you. And in the further videos, we'll be continuing with the next two type of past tenses. Students, you can do your assignments and this question also either in your BBC if you have it, or you can do it in your notebooks. Okay. Thank you so much, students.